Hi, good morning. It's Jim from the maverickstar Observatory. Guys, we're going to be looking at Perth, Australia data that's just came in thanks to one of our superstars in Perth, Australia, Jeff. As you can see, the data that we're looking at does show a few strange anomalies. Nothing completely abnormal, but don't get complacent, guys. I think this is an important video to do and talk about. One day we are going to be looking at these stations that we've got around the world, and the data is going to one day dramatically change, and it'll be at that point when it really comes down to us that something is changing in our world that we're living in. And we can expect in those changes, we can expect more cosmic radiation inbound, more extreme weather anomalies, heart attacks relating to cardiac arrhythmic changes, and cancers increasing. And it's not just going to be noticeable with human beings, it's going to be noticeable with every biodiversity. So plants, trees, everything. From that point on, when we get the signal that something has changed, big things are going to change on the whole. So we're looking at the data that Jeff sent us in, and as usual we can see a gradual fluctuation over the day and night of around 2 microteslas. And although there is at the beginning of the chart there, you'll see like a little W in the trough of the pattern that we're seeing go across the chart over the month. So something happened there, and recovered slightly back up to 62 microteslas and then continued on. But as you can see, a slight decrease over that period of time of around 2 microteslas, and then came back up. Usually we don't see this sort of pattern if we just compare it to the others. You see, usually we get a long line of just a fluctuation of around a microtesla or two. And it just shows us that, first of all, the equipment is working, and if there was a dramatic change in the magnetic intensity over Perth, we would definitely see on the equipment, like we did with China. We saw over the last 6 months a gradual declining of the data, and then it started to pick back up to where it was. But during the reversal, we're going to see something completely different. We're going to see it continuously moving in one direction. That will be our heads up that we are in big changes, and we'll be able to reconfirm that with the data from the TriMag system. It's very easy to take for granted what we're doing here. I mean, just think about it. If you was to record yourself on an instrument, go out into your garden every 15 minutes for the entire month, and as you can see, we've got 3,256 readings for just the last month in Australia, and then we've got that in Hong Kong, Arizona, on the Gold Coast, all over. It would require a lot of effort. And then can you imagine what it'd be like just constantly recording the position of the magnetic North Pole like our TriMag does every 3 seconds? It would require a team of people to do that, and then it wouldn't be as accurate as what the electronic equipment does, because there is always that factor of human error involved. So we're really lucky to be monitoring these changes as they occur. And though sometimes it might not seem like much is happening around the world with all this magnetic intensity and pole migration and things like that, but it doesn't mean it's going to remain like that. And that's why I say it's important not to become complacent about what's going on. It's very easy in our lives to do that with all what else is going on. I mean, I know COVID-19 has caused a lot of problems for people. A lot of people have been made, not just here in the UK, unemployed as a result of that, but all over the world. And how easy is it to forget about the magnetic pole shift that's taking place? Doesn't mean that because we're not seeing dramatic changes on a daily basis that this is still not going ahead, because I guarantee you now it is. as we can see, it is still moving in the direction, the magnetic North Pole right now, to central Russia. So, without a doubt, this is still taking place, and we are still to have the worst to come. Trust me. We have witnessed massive weather anomalies and changes on our planet in the last 30 years directly as a result of this Earth's going through a magnetic reversal right now, and we are not at the equilibrium. That will be the point, if you like. If you were skiing down a hill, when you get to the bottom of the hill, that would be the equilibrium point at the very bottom. We're probably a long way off yet. 2.5 to 4, maybe 7 years. It's somewhere in between that window, and the only way we can be, more accurate in that prediction is by continuously monitoring what is going on. If we don't have the equipment out there in the field, we just simply are guessing, and we don't do the guessing on this channel anymore because we're more proactive than that. We don't just talk about it. We've got equipment out there in the field, and we go by what we find. It's called, in simple terms, the scientific approach. You measure things, and then on those measurements you are able to make predictions like we have with predicting what is going to take place next. Now there is an obstacle in the path, and that is the 40-degree mark. We're not quite sure what's going to happen when that magnetic North Pole reaches or migrates a total distance of 40 degrees across the northern hemisphere. It is logically reasonable to suggest that, based on those experiments that we did with the magnets and the compass, to suggest that when we hit that 40-degree mark, we are then at that point leaving the strong field lines, which slows the magnetic migration down because it holds it in those strong magnetic field lines, and then we enter the weak magnetic field lines. And based on those experiments, we've seen what happens. It migrates a lot faster. So, that's what we're doing at the observatory. And like I say, it's very easy for us to take it, to complacency. And, when we do that, we're really taking our eye off the ball. And I know I talk about this every week. And, we are slowly, as you see from when I do the magnetic North Pole position, slowly nudging towards central Russia. It's very easy for us to, take our eye off the ball. But, what you have to bear in mind, more important than anything else, is that, in your lifetime, you are going to experience these big changes that are going to take place as a result of the magnetic North Pole. You are. And, it is going to make COVID-19 look like a flea on a dog's back. The changes that will come about due to a magnetic pole reversal will certainly be more evident than things like COVID-19 and any other pandemic that we could experience, or even worse than the economic collapse. Reason being is because this will affect everybody on the planet. There will be nobody that is immune to what is going to happen with regards to that. So just bear in mind that this is still happening, and we are still on a course for a magnetic reversal. That's if we're lucky. If we're lucky, it could be an excursion. If we're lucky, it could be a reversal. If we're unlucky, and I have presented some evidence to support the core solidifying in our planet. If we're unlucky, that's where we're looking at no reversal, no more magnetosphere protection. And if that is the case, and I'm not saying it's not, I'm not saying it is going to be the case, I'm not saying it's not possible, I'm just putting the cards on the table and I'm showing you these things. We know it's happened to our neighbouring planet, Mars. And, we cannot be so complacent to think that that cannot be, a possibility for our planet in the future. Nothing in this universe lasts forever. We call the sun the solar constant, but trust me, the sun is not constant. It will burn itself out. It is like a candle, and there is only a certain amount of wax there to burn, and it is the same You know, it will eventually burn itself out. We know this. We've seen it happen in other parts of the universe, in other galaxies. We know that this is not constant. Nothing isn't constant. You know, and I really wanted to talk about time in this video, and I think I'll just briefly touch on that and we'll wrap it up. You know, what I was interested in, just asking you guys, is where are you right now in life? What are you doing? Just tell me a little bit about your life. You know, what are you doing? What is the main things in your life? You know, with regards to your families and what you're doing on a daily basis. You know, just give me a little glimpse of what your life is about in the comment section below. And the reason why I ask that is because, you know, I think a lot of people don't really understand the concept of time and purpose. The only way I can give you an idea of those two things is that we are in a river, and that river's flowing, and the river is an example of time. We know that whilst we're in that river, we've got no control really about our destination, because we're in the flow of the river, and it's the river that is going to take us you know, through time, and, you know, put us where we're going to be inevitably in the end. But most people know that all rivers flow to oceans. But a lot of people think that, you know, that they have no control over, or have some control over the flow of time. And I you know, giving it a little bit of thought, you really can't control the river. You're just the piece in the river that is flowing with the river. Some people say, well, you know, you're talking about fate. You know, you can't control fate. Well, you can to some degree, but inevitably, you know, it's going to come back. You might think, well, okay, if I'm about to order a steak and I change my mind at the last minute and go for the teriyaki chicken, then I've changed fate. Those are so small things that don't really affect a lot in the flow of time. What I'm trying to say here is that, you know, and inevitably we are upstream, and inevitably we're going to be downstream. We're going to arrive where that river's going to take us, and time is going to put us in the future where we are supposed to be. You know, I'll have to go into this a little bit more detail with you guys in another video. I really would love to talk about that, but I'd like to know, you know, let's just say I've arrived on this planet today, and, you know, I've met human beings for the very first time, and I'm here with you right now, and I'm asking you, what are you doing in life? You know, just give me your thoughts on that. Tell me, you know, I mean, does it feel, are you having a good experience? You know, are you enjoying life? Do you know where you're going in life? You know, and you know, tell me what your thoughts are about how things with regards to the pole shift could change your life in the future. So, okay, so I've got to get back to finishing off a muon detector, which I've just started building another one of. As you guys know, they're a pain in the arse. You know, the tiny little bits of electronics that you have to hold with tweezers whilst you're soldering them onto the PCM. And you know, I'll be interested in what your thoughts are. Big shout out to Susan and the few others that you know, supported us over the last couple of days here at the observatory. I don't think we're going to hit our target that we set ourselves out to do. There is only probably around 10 or so days left in the month, and we're so far off that target, it doesn't look like it's going to happen, guys, to be fair. But you know, we'll run it for another month until we do eventually get the money to, you know, improve things, you know, with regards to the content on these videos for you. So yeah, big thanks to the patrons, big thanks to our superstars, and you know, we're still trying to get one out to Brazil. I haven't managed to catch up with that family member yet, but I will do over the next few days, and we'll see if we can secure our magnetometer and muon detector in Brazil. And until then, guys, you know, be safe. And I'll just mention once and very quickly, and it's not mandatory, but you know, we do need the support in order to keep going and doing what we do here at the observatory. Is the link down there in the description. You can support us on Patreon or PayPal. It's entirely up to you what you want to do, but the main thing is that we get support, because this is a public funded observatory, not a government funded observatory, and you guys know why we keep it that way. It's so that nobody tells us what we can publish on our website or here on YouTube, and we keep it clean, whether you like it or not, you get what we get, and it gets published. That's an honest and truthful way of doing this, and that's the way I want to keep it going. And the only way we can do that is by keeping it publicly funded, with you guys helping. So yeah, guys, enjoy your day, and I'll catch up with you maybe tomorrow, and we might even continue the conversation of time and things like that if you're interested and up for that. So have a great day as always. Bye for now.